know that I'm a dog. Live by the law. Ball till I fall. Entourage. A lot of rods. Breadwinner elevator in my garage. Micro exotic bulldogs. Exotic cars. Level 2. Push the button. I levitated. The doors open to Beyonce concert. I'm beyond turn. If I come out the shirt, baby might forget the verse. Beyonce concert. I'm beyond turn. With a big booty bitch, baby. Let me see you work. The addy kicked in. I'm Michael Jackson bad. I'm pushing cash up. I'm trying to hit you from the bag.
I like this guy. I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna listen to some fucking Kevin. Fuck y'all.
Stand up on your toes, lock your knees back, baby, breathe through your nose. Hey, bitch, bend over, stand up on your toes, lock your knees back, baby, breathe through your nose.
There I go again, kicking some dumb flow.
I think, per the usual, this is a very mashup friendly space.
Absolutely.
Support your local mashup. Whoever the fuck they are. I give a fuck if they got one song. If that shit go, give them some credit so they can continue. Cause this JB's nigga.
Absolutely.
HVLM high volume. This motherfucker, this SoundCloud and got me through a lot. Playing this motherfucker forever. Good on him.
Good on. Appreciate you, boss. Thank you for mashing that shit together. Pun intended.
Yeah.
Thank you very kindly. Nikki helped a little bit, but shout out to Kevin.
That's such a crazy skill set to be able to because you be hearing shit and you be like, oh, okay, sometimes, if you I guess knew the software and all whatever, all those go together. But when a motherfucker takes some shit from over here and over there, I just feel like I don't know how you get them paid more. But I don't know how music works. I feel like the shit just be put up on you'll find the shit on YouTube and I'm like, well, these aren't the sites that I feel like you get the most money from.
Right.
Musically or whatever, how monetization, all that shit works. But I'd be like, man, these niggas is.
But I feel like they got their crowd to where they can, DJ, because some of them are DJing parties and stuff like that. I feel like they have a crowd somewhere that way they can get something from their efforts. I don't think they're just throwing it out there and don't nobody say nothing, hear nothing from it, do nothing with it, ever know it exists. They got somewhat of a something going on.
That's a good point. I think the other day was DJ Day. Salute to Dash. Yeah. Salute to Dell. Salute to you. Support your local DJ niggas. And your non-local DJ niggas. Because, to other people, them niggas is overseas niggas. So, all y'all overseas niggas who fuck with our niggas, fuck with them.
Absolutely. Shout out to Mies. She Reds, too. So
I sometimes find that funny sometimes. If I sit back, I'm like, oh, these niggas is, really doing stuff.
It's a lot of people out there doing their thing.
I know talented people.
Absolutely. They doing their thing within whatever realm they feel like doing it in. They not, not to say because, we're in the professional world that we conformed a little bit, but everybody kind of doing their own thing, how they feel like doing it. And that's what's necessary. People finding their way through the space that they actually feel like navigating as opposed to navigating through spaces for survival.
I had a conversation about that, and it was but I'm going to come back. Maybe I should save this because I saw some of the questions earlier, and there was a question that ties into what I'm about to say. I'll save it.
Okay, you
let me say that.
In the meantime, in between time, before we do the intro to the show, this what you had said.
Oh, it was solo leveling.
I remember solo.
Yeah, because if you don't, I don't know how you don't know, but anime is always playing because you just always need anime somewhere because it just does wild shit. I feel like if I made a little my bullshit. Oh yeah, there it is. My bullshit. Hey, do an anime. Do a fucking podcast thing. How does that work? Yeah,
that's the Japanese name.
Oh shit, that's true.
Oradake level up Nankin.
That sounds way harder. I'm not that fucking. That sounds way. Solo leveling is cool, but
nah,
that shit is the fucking shit. God damn.
Oradake level up Nankin.
Yeah, they're finna fuck it up.
And that's even assuming that I said it right, because I could completely be butchering how you supposed to say that shit in Japanese just because.
That's true.
I don't fucking know. But we got questions. That's great. I'm glad that we are consistently, even though this ain't this question segment, I'm just glad that we are consistently getting questions from y'all. So thank y'all for showing up and giving us shit to mean, we don't need nothing to talk about. We gonna always find something to talk about.
Talk about fucking air. Oh, that's what I was about to say. Oh yeah, that's what I was about. Well, not talk about air, but I always find it funny sometimes. Like every now and again, I don't get like a bunch, but every now and again you get a conversation about like how potting works. Like, what do you guys? And I'm like, honestly, yo, you just kind of show up and fucking. I'm the worst. Yeah, I'm the worst person to ask how this shit works. You just show up and then you keep fucking doing the stuff. Although every now and again, every other day, not every day, but like every other day, I am team. They should take some of these mics away. They should just be like, like you should just maybe do some more paperwork. Like the way that you know, like how we function out here in California, like how you got to get a gun. Like you should have to maybe sign some paperwork, take a class or two before you just can go in there and grab a mic and say some shit.
Yeah, hit up Keith. Keith teaching the kids how to do podcasts and all that. Y'all go ahead, hit up Keith, man. Let him help you.
Podcast Academy. There should be a podcast academy for adults. I think that there should be fucking legislation put, and Keith should be in charge. He should be the deputy chair of pod liaisoning or whatever the fuck name you. And you got to go through some shit. You got to take a class. He teaching too. Keith is doing everything you can do to get in front of these mics and be a goddamn benefit to society. And every day y'all get up here and fight that man's efforts.
I mean, they fighting their own goddamn. Some people end up being their own worst enemy because you doing all this personal progress in your own life, assuming I'm giving y'all the benefit of the doubt, assuming that you are actually doing the work.
Everybody healing.
Everybody's healing. Everybody doing their thing, and just I am growing and learning and progressing as an individual. I am stepping into my divine feminine. I am learning how to be a high value man. All these things that you guys like to say on the interwebs. And then somebody puts a microphone in front of your mouth and all the space between your ears just goes blank. And you just start saying a whole bunch of shit that kind of contradicts the things you talk about doing for you goddamn self.
See, I think that, I don't know. That's one thing about like just, I feel like my ever-going battle to just continue to do chaos and mix in some other shit, because I just feel like sometimes people box themselves in a corner, and that goes in maybe like a conversation of authenticity. Because if you gotta be a certain way for whatever your platform is. And I was kind of having like an off conversation about just like content in general earlier, and it was like kind of around the boxes people place themselves in and how that might affect their content. Yeah, like if you're, like I fucked their name up again because I don't remember it. The Diary of a
Bad Black Woman.
None of them. Oh, nope. That entrepreneur pod we talked about, like
Diary of a CEO.
Diary. There we go. Diary of a CEO. And we're like, I think those are good. I think I like those pods, but like some of those, I think in shows like those, you might quote unquote box yourself into being not exactly entertaining because you got to be like, and them niggas might talk about like titties and booty ass. But you got other shows that might be more salacious and they'll like drop a gem. That's usually why my like little favorite bar of like, I feel like comedians got it like the best, because you go to a comedian's podcast. I'm not necessarily expecting this nigga to do stand up, but there's like free roam for them to be like as funny as you expect them to be. But then they have like these really human moments. You're like, damn, this nigga actually is really, really fucking smart outside of telling us like, tits and ass jokes.
I mean, it's as much as I do understand how people can box themselves in, I feel like part of that is really just a mindset, honestly. Like whatever you box yourself in personally lets you know what creatively or artistically your limitations are. Because even say with dude that Diary of a CEO, if I'm not mistaken, when he started, hence the name of the shit, he was really just doing interviews with people that were successful in business to see what their business tactics and techniques were. Mm-hmm. And then because he was pivoting in his own personal life, he started interviewing more people. Like he still talks to them about how to be successful in business to a degree, but it's more so like, how did you elevate as a person? What are some things that you went through? How did you respond to this? How did you respond to that? What are some of your traumas? What are some of your, and they also give him some gems on how to continue working through his own personal emotional shit. But he was able to pivot because he saw in his own life how that was necessary and what he needed to do.
That makes sense.
Can you see that? Like, although I don't 100% know it or watch it, it makes me think of, say, something like Off the Porch. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. Like where they interview the music artists or up and coming trap music artists on the little porch backdrop and all of that. Like,
that's a cool little gimmick. I know niggas make fun of gimmicks, but I always thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a cool gimmick and image for sure. But conversationally, like, do you pivot and have different conversations? Because for me, on the porch or the stoop growing up, I was having actual deep conversations with people. And I get you supposed to have a whole trap scene so you can interview trap artists or rap artists or whatever the case is. And they may throw a little deep question in there here and there, but
I think,
like, can they pivot and actually ask conversations personally about what people have gone through?
For me personally, I would watch that. Like, I would watch, obviously, like, if you go in to see Off the Porch interview, for just using them as an example, Off the Porch interview, and they're interviewing, I don't know, whoever the dude, young rapper who's popping right now. And, like, all his videos, he got a motherfucking chopper in that bitch. So, like, who you're talking to when you're talking to that person. But for me, my experience, when I think Off the Porch, like, all of my majority of my experiences on a porch is me and my grandfather. Some of them shits were calm. We didn't do shit. We played. And sometimes he would, like, come out with, like, like grandfather wisdom out of fucking left field. It'd be like, laugh, laugh, laugh. I might say something. He'd be like, this is a day that you need to get fucking experience. Boom, wisdom. And I'm like, all right, man, this gym didn't blow up in my brain until I was 17. So I think you could do both. I don't even think for that you have to, like, stop doing the other one. It just, I think that is just what am I trying to say? At the mercy of, like, whatever guest you choose. Right. You can kind of, especially in a guest platform, you can only do so much with a motherfucker not giving you nothing back in your commentary.
I feel like, yes and no. I'll say I agree with that to a degree where, like, whoever you are having on the show does kind of dictate if you can go that route or not. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like a lot of shows or podcasts or whatever you want to call them, it's more so the opposite. Like, the guest is at the mercy of whatever the creativity level of the show is. So say, for instance, and this is, I ain't gonna say I'm copywriting this because I don't know if I can copyright an idea, but if you motherfuckers was to watch what we say and you end up pivoting to doing this, then
niggas always talk about IP. That's IP, right?
Let a nigga hold something, have us on the show. But say on an Off the Porch situation, they have a segment where, just like what you said, right? Because stereotypically in the South, when you think of a porch in the South, what comes to mind?
Shit, for me, what I just said, because that's usually
so for me, I think older people in Lemonade, sitting out watching the kids, watching the neighborhood do their thing. There's gonna be some conversations. You may run up to the older person's stoop or porch or whatever, talk to him for a second.
Kids afraid to leave the stoop.
And stoop for the New York folks. But that's what you think of. You think of an older person sitting there. So say you have the artists, I think they do the performance at the end of their shit, if I'm not mistaken. But you have them do their conversation with the interviewer to ask them about their music, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You have them the next segment where they sitting in the rocking chair talking to an older person or seemingly an older person, and the conversation is a little bit more serious about their personal life, and then they do their performance after that. Like, there's ways you still staying within the same scheme of what you're doing, and it's not really you having to pivot or change, and you're at mercy of the artist, because the artist is going to adapt and realize, well, I'm going to talk. Like, when you go to Adam 22, you know what you're going to talk about. You go to the Breakfast Club, you know what you're going to talk about. You go to, what's Big Block and them shit? I forgot
Is it Big Facts?
I think it's Big Facts or something like that. Mm-hmm. You know what you gonna talk about. You go to Shannon Sharps. You know how all of these are going to go based on the person and how they have created their artistic, expression, so to speak. So I don't think it would be like, it depends on the person that you have there. Shay just had 21 Savage, and even though he said type shit like a million times, he still ended up having a conversation with Unc because Unc was himself.
I guess maybe let me reframe that a bit. Like, the artist, I guess, has to be, or the inner person has to be comfortable enough in this space to have those conversations with you. And I guess from what I've seen, I don't know a lot of and I can only speak to maybe 4 clips that I've seen of this show. I know of the show, but when I've seen the clips, I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem like the group or artist that would get in depth. even when I look at 21 Savage, like if you even are just like a fan, I'm like, oh, this nigga's in a bag of like, you know, started out just straight pussy, and then you listen to some of his songs now, it's still, you know, there's bars in there about shooting a nigga, but when he talks on like even this progression, like when he was doing that fucking what the fuck was that shit we were all like subjecting ourselves to, where we talked a lot, Clubhouse.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
you could see him like the fucking he's just Rawls just stupidly up there just verbally tweeting like just empty fucking thoughts. Anyways, is a person who is communicative. Like I got ideas, I got shit in here, I got things to talk about, and I'm in a space where I'm more comfortable. I'm even like artist wise, like you can see like he's trying to get in the bag of. So I think that and the individuals, like everybody we named, like you named, was like, even when I listen to their shows, them niggas be all trying to get in their little bags. Almost be making me like hella wrong about like when I be making fun of podcasts and shit. Cause Shannon, Big Facts, all of those shows, they'll be like, all right, music, this, that, and the third. And then somewhere around there, it's like, let's talk about some shit. Like the big motherfuckers is doing the stuff.
I mean, if we really think about it, I don't care how whatever an artist is supposed to be. On somebody's show, they've talked about their truth. So I don't even think it's a matter of willingness. And I don't even think it's a talent of the interviewer flipping it to that direction. I think a lot of them want to actually talk about the shit. Just don't nobody really ask them about it. I mean, example comes to mind, fucking Glorilla. Like,
yeah.
When she came out, she had a couple interviews where she was just promoting her music, and I signed this big deal, and I'm this overnight sensation. And then she was just waiting for opportunities for people to ask her about some shit outside of whatever song is popular at the moment. And then she's telling all these different aspects of her life. Sexy Red telling different aspects of her life. We started the show off with Kevin Gates. That nigga would tell anybody with an ear whatever
That
is on his mind in that moment.
See, and I'm not the people was talking about that Breakfast Club shit, and that's one shit where I was reading a lot of the comments. It is a lot of, I'm not gonna lie, it was mildly, it had a little bit of inspiration there, because, and I don't know if it's a bit of that, like if you give, I guess that sometimes makes me think about giving people the space to go, like you started out as like, you know, Kevin Gates is a wild nigga, and now he's like Captain Healed. The same wherewithal. If I'm okay, here's a better parallel in my mind. So like watching the Kevin Gates fucking like comments, it's like, you know, he be saying some wild shit, but in there he'll drop a gem, and he did. Like he was saying his little like, you know, Mushisashi shit, and then, you know, 5 minutes later, he's like, you know, are you gonna leave me? Or are you gonna help me wash these sins off me? Because yes, I was outside fucking, and like, you know, I like to fuck, and like even that's a conversation that, you know, could probably turn into something. And then when I watched like just a clip of say the Baltimore game, it was a lot of people that were like were cool with it. Like it was like the mayor was up there and he was like tailgating and drinking and shotgunning a beer with the fucking fans. And then there was a bunch of people and they're like, make the fucking city better. So it made me think like, are people easier to make, I guess, a regular person get great and a person who they think has some type of status allow them to be more human? Like, which one, I guess, has a harder go? Or is there a harder go? Is it harder to be like somebody who was, I don't know, whatever we consider like less than, and be great, and then somebody who you think has to maintain a station in life, and they get to fucking outside and have fun, like they eat ass? I'm not gonna lie, man, that's one of the underlying philosophies of this whole fucking show, to be honest with you, but because I'm doing both. I'm outside, and then I'm outside helping the fucking world, man. Like, shit.
I mean, we'll have to revisit that conversation for us personally, like how this progresses. So, you know, say 5 years from now, knock on some wood somewhere around this. Hey.
Think.
You know, say 5 years from now, social media has gained a lot of followers, but we get just as many people listening on a regular basis as we do followers on Instagram, right? So that means we're doing well. We got a few thousand, this, that, and the other. It gives us some notoriety. We can monetize it, make money off of it, and things change. That conversation of like how open we are about stuff may alter a little bit. I don't see us not sharing, honestly, but we may share the conversation or facilitate the conversation a little bit differently when it comes to, you know, having a bigger audience. But who knows? I can't say for other people. You mentioned the Ravens game, which fucking Baltimore.
Gotta go to this goddamn Super Bowl and shake it off the whole fucking time. This is supposed to be Usher's moment, man. I don't want to see no fucking Swift shit.
To be a black Super Bowl, and y'all didn't let the whitest motherfucker in America. But that's part of it, right? Because she's supposed to be super rich, damn near billionaire status, she's white people's Beyonce. Fantastic.
God, that sounds so
That sounds
fucking
nasty.
That sounds nuts.
That sounds nasty. But for them, that's literally what it is. She literally is white folks Beyonce, which is nerve-wracking and gut-wrenching. But we keep seeing her whenever the Chiefs play. They're humanizing her and showing her having fun at these Chiefs games. Granted, she ain't in the stands with the people. She in the fucking press box. But
word to Jason, though, that nigga was outside.
Hey.
Like that big motherfucker, man. We out here getting drunk.
I'm not mad.
Going crazy. That's what. Yeah, yo,
Kansas
fuck.
City,
I got all this money for if I'm not finna have some fun. But anyways,
Kansas City fucking murder rate, they at the top, ain't they? If I'm not mistaken, Kansas City is up there when it comes to the murder rate.
is it Kansas City? Either way, they're right next door.
Yeah, but either way, like we're humanizing this person that's supposed to be a billionaire, and they put the camera on her all the time, just showing her watching her temporary partner play football. So, he's getting absolved of his previous transgressions. It's like fucking side note. I feel like with him, it's like Major's getting with Megan Good to like wash his white card away to be accepted back into the community. I feel like that's kind of what Travis is doing. Like, he was associated with black people for so long. He's like, I had to go get the most lily white woman as I can get to be.
I think it definitely puts him in another bracket to start him. I think fucking Jonathan would be cool if he just. I ain't trying to silence nobody, but like, goddamn, get another PR person. Nobody wrote that script better than that. You're an actor, my boy. Like,
look here, if you really pay attention to Majors and the roles that he's played, and seemingly the person that he is, he been this nigga for a minute.
Yeah, yo, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of like him doing any of these. It just is like, and I know we give artists a pass for being like they're eccentric, but you just always. I just feel like you always got to keep somebody on the payroll, and their only job is to be like, hey, nigga, like, what the fuck, like, just somebody like I just whatever y'all want to call it, the uncultured friend, the nigga who's down, just somebody to be like, hey. What the fuck is that? What is that?
You need. I think
you don't understand. I don't. That shit's weird. I don't understand.
Outside of your publicist, your team, just that and the other, I feel like each person should have. Even if you don't have a real friend, you should hire a friend whose job is to come at you like a friend and be like, "Nigga, what the fuck is you doing?"
And I mean, I think somebody should start to support this, and it should be a firm. And you should go. Don't just go like, I want you to go to the fucking every hood, Martin Luther King Boulevard or whatever fucking city you in, and that's where that nigga should be at. You find that nigga from there, and he's on the squad.
Although we mildly pivoted to him away from the conversation, that makes me think, what the fuck is Megan, what is she doing? What are you saying to this nigga behind the scenes?
I feel like she's trying to be as supportive as, because you can't because here's the thing. I feel like she did some good work, but I just feel like that might speak to just like the fucking overhereness that he was in. He was just in his own silo. And like, I feel like she might have done a lot of shit. And just those are the moments she was like, fuck, bro, we have done so well. And then now it was just too much back to back. I feel like she might have been doing some great shit. She might be like, hey, man, you need to go outside, touch some grass. I know you like the super artsy nigga. You can dive into a role. But, Daniel Day-Lewis, this shit when it's a role time. Other than that, come outside and engage with, you know what I'm saying? Do some other shit.
I mean, this...
And I don't know, Megan. What if Megan's fucking...
It's Black History Month, so I just want to see what type of shit he pulls this month.
I want him to just do... I saw something that came up. There's something coming out. And it looked like, it'll be good. It look a little... It's not Marvel money budget, but...
Oh, I know what you talking about. I saw that too. The funny part is, you talking about
I don't know.
Gully.
I think I think that's it. Yeah.
Gully is something, and I was surprised when I saw that today too, because I was like, wait a minute, in theaters, I've watched that shit on here already. I watched that movie last year.
I've noticed
so I
that,
think
though.
it's an older independent type movie that was released before, but based on what I was reading from, I guess the caption of one of the guys that worked on the movie or created the movie,
Right.
it did so well and got so much notoriety on streaming that they're going to put it in theaters. But this is not a new project for Majors. This is something years old, because I think the movie was made in like 2021 or some shit.
Shit might do him some solid. Do him some good. I think that does well. He has a good performance. We can get back into the Majors run of life.
Watch the movie first.
Oh fuck! Y'all gotta stop doing this.
It's not. I won't say that it's bad. I only say that for us from a mental health. It's a relatively a mental healthy movie. If I'm not mistaken, like the main character, I don't think his name is Gully or whatever. I forget what his name is, but the main character, I want to say he's like schizophrenic or something.
Okay.
So he just him, and I think one of his friends is like a white trash type kid, and another one is like a foster kid or some shit like that. It's kind of, I don't want to give too much of the movie away, but
This is my bag.
Yeah, they're three dysfunctional ass kids.
Okay.
And the whole movie is basically them just doing dysfunctional ass shit from people who really aren't mentally stable. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like, what the fuck is this? What kind of dysfunctional ass shit is like? It irritated me to a degree. Right? Like if you take, I understood the premise of it. I understood of like how these kids that are having these issues and having these mental health struggles end up getting caught up in all this other different shit in their day to day and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And then people are trying to help them, but they also got other shit going on. And I get from the perspective of somebody struggling through these mental health issues, I get that part.
Right.
But I also watching it as somebody that has worked with youth with mental health struggles, you'll watch it and be like, hey, these kids is irritating the fuck out of them. What are you doing? Like, what is really wrong with you? So I get it on one end, and on the other end, I was like, I would want to punch one of these kids in the fucking face. But also, I've worked with kids like this, so I understand just trying to support them and not whatever. It's not a bad movie, but whatever. And Major's role in it isn't super big. It has some big name people in there. Travis Scott is in there as well.
But cool.
I was going to say fancy, but it's Garcelle. I always struggle with her last name.
I'm gonna say fancy.
But she's in there as well. She's one of the main boys' moms.
Okay.
So it's got some names of some people in there, but it's not a new movie. It's not a new movie at all. I think they're just putting it in theaters because it did so well streaming.
I'd be cool with films like that, but sometimes I am a bit of like, how do I say this? I like realism in films, but I sometimes don't like just dark, bleak, dark, and it don't have like I don't need it to have like a happy ending.
Right.
But like I need it to kind of sometimes show like this is a result of this, and this, as opposed to just being like this, they got fucked up, they just in a fucked up day. And I was like, okay, well if we have like a little spigot of like, because the system is overwhelmed, like this motherfucker's working in the motherfucker, like it's a lot of that shit that comes through, and you might not have the opportunity to really impact this kid like you wanted to, or you know, it's not a bad kid, but like circumstances. If we're gonna really shine a light on the circumstances, and this shit could be dark as fuck, because that shit's outside. You passed that person today when you was at the store. Yeah. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
This shows a little bit of that. I'll give it some credit. It does show consequences of some of their actions, and it does show some. It shows some shit. So I give it some credit. Again, I'm not completely shitting on it, but parts of it were irritating. Like, y'all did a good job of making these did you want to make these boys irritating, or did you want people to feel for them because they have mental health struggles making terrible decisions? Like,
you know, now I think about it, I don't know that I'm mad at that, because I think sometimes people don't, I don't know, give themselves or give situations the full breadth of what all of that entails. Is because, yes, it'll be a post online, or it'll be a conversation about a movie or what's going on in the news, whatever. And it's like, that person's got mental health and you can't. And it's like, also, just so you know, you can hold both spaces. I feel like people beat themselves up trying to be fucking Dudley Do-Right. The person's a dickhead. Yes, they got schizophrenia, and yes, we can work with that, and yes, we can understand that this might have been a moment, but also that motherfucker's a dickhead. Because also, wait till y'all start, if y'all out there, wait till y'all start figuring out that, sometimes motherfuckers are very aware of their condition.
Absolutely.
And also know that I'm lucid right now. And I'm going to fucking hit the gas on this shit.
Absolutely.
Because I want something.
Right. Again, when you watch the movie, watch the movie, and we'll have a follow-up conversation about it. And you can, it's different. It's a different lens for us, clearly, because we've worked with kids like that, and we're in the field, and we kind of have a different look.
Like working adults like that.
Yeah, it's interesting, but again, it's not a bad movie, but I can appreciate that take a little bit, because we talk about all the time on here, at least people creating different shit, different stories, different narratives. Whatever, just to kill time, I threw a Tubi movie on. That shit wasn't very much different. It was on par with what you expect from a Tubi movie. But, these type of stories I can appreciate. It is a little bit different. It is stereotypical in some ways, but it is different. And it's like, cool, I can appreciate you trying to share a different type of story or narrative or perspective. So the creativity is out there. But I can understand some people may watch this and think that Majors is taking a step back. So even going back to your original question of like, is it easier for somebody bigger to kind of have a humanized moment, or is it bigger or better or more important or more acceptable for somebody that's lower to have an elevated moment? People that don't know that this movie is not new will probably look at it as him taking a step back, not realizing like, nah, this was helping him kind of craft himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's, to a degree, spoiler alert, he's kind of playing the same character that he played in Creed.
Oh,
It's similar.
That's fair.
It's a similar type character. But I say that's why I say, well, is he being himself? Because he done played a few movies where he's been that type of person.
Yeah, I feel like that's even if you've haven't fully had that exact experience, I feel like it's might not be if you're a good trained actor and you are a black man. I feel like you can tap into that space because not to be Captain Dips and Darks, but like niggas know that experience, niggas know that pain, niggas know that anger, niggas know that even even what I said last week about fucking American Fiction, like. There's a underlining piece of like he's got this like little I'm fucking mad bitch like, and he's by all respects and purposes like very successful, but like so I don't knock a nigga for being if I was like somebody in his corner, I'd be like, all right, you would do some happy shit, because it seemed like you do, it's a lot to put yourself in that space of being angry and take over, and the way motherfuckers be trying to like dive into roles. I don't know, the mental anguish of, I know they have like a lot of shit, and I know actors be using this shit when they be having like a coke binge. Y'all don't know what the fuck I going through, but if I had to be on set for 8 months and like I needed to really dig deep into some bullshit to pull out that amazing performance, and if I don't really take the time to go, and I might have tapped some shit like, oh fuck man, I'm mad at my fucking dad for real. Oh shit, we got an award shit in the press run. I never get to go back and really address these feelings. So now I got this weird anger I'm sitting with all the time, or sadness, or, I was playing this role, but like, as a woman, like, I really do hate this nigga. Baby, you got to go back to your husband and your fucking kid. Why are you so shitty to your son? Because, boy, that was a character, man. But you didn't do I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Actors probably got some shit.
Probably.
I mean, they do got some shit, but that specific thing, outside all the other shit they go through in life, but just that specific act of you have a really great life and you have to go and like do your job greatly, and it's probably really, really difficult to like, okay, even like, what was that shit, the last shit that I watched? Okay, maybe not every character, because like I was about to say the Equalizer shit, and then I thought about I gotta stop watching this fucking movie too. Netflix has put on all the like, fucking ass kicking movies that may or may not have done well, and like Tarzan popped back up. So maybe if you play Tarzan, maybe you shouldn't be into fucking monkeys, but Y'all get what I'm saying.
Which Tarzan?
The one that has fucking Eric from fucking True Blood, and it was Sam Jackson was in there, and he was like, you know, his cool black homeboy.
Not the Disney real life one, but the other real life one.
Yeah, the other real life one where it was
where I think like Jane was kidnapped or some shit, and he was trying to get her back.
And like Jaimon Hansu was in there, and he got like a cool gorilla tribe of niggas, but. You know, I don't know. Tarzan always. I mean, I don't know nothing against the nigga Eric because I like him as an actor, but there's always something about like some white man coming to run in Africa that bothers the fuck out of me.
Some white man that was raised by animals in Africa and became super strong and athletic and agile and saving the animals in the forest and the this and the that. Like, I think the thing that bothers me with Tarzan is that he the only motherfucker that did that. And some white baby just got dropped off in the jungle with some gorillas and learned and got all these abilities. But the black people that's been there living amongst these people don't have those same abilities. Because
black people knew better. Like I feel like it's like ultimate balance. Like if I'm gonna just take this shit way too fucking deep, you know, Tarzan's parents was up there just not respecting the balance of the fucking jungle. We gonna come in here and own some shit and put a high-rise apartment in the middle of the fucking jungle. Like these niggas not finna pull up and go, who did you come in here and check in with? Not a jaguar, not a fucking animal. You didn't say shit to nobody.
Not a man.
Come here, bitch. Who the fuck told you could just be up here living? So I feel like his parents like really, really fucked the game up. And then like balancing, it was like, all right, man, well, we didn't kill these motherfuckers. But black people, they respect the balance off top. So they like, look, this our area, this your area, we just passing through. It's some gorillas over there, son, chill the fuck out. And they had no motherfucking issues. It was because, you know, I am John Clayton, and I'm an explorer with my wife and my young child, and dead, nigga.
Right. That would normally be the issue, at least. Y'all came here to fuck shit up or take advantage of all of this. And Tarzan gets left because y'all did some shit y'all wasn't supposed to be doing. But we see, even still to this day, Africans just walking through the jungle with lions, like just kicking it. Why? Because we respected each other. We understand. We learn from each other. We are cohabiting.
It's two things about that film that I just realized fucked me up. One is my usual thing, but I'm going to get to the serious thing first, and I'm going to wrap it up with some chaos. Number one is when you get to Sam Jackson's character, part of the reason why Tarzan goes down there is because they're like trying to stop. They mentioned Leopold in there, like, and like issues in the Congo. So part of that bothers me because I'm like, you motherfuckers be throwing these little "we're here to help" tidbits in the movie, and ain't nobody doing a goddamn thing for the actual. It just feels like they fucking with it. Like part of that made me like read, like, are y'all fucking with these people? Like y'all know it's a fucking atrocious shit going on there. Y'all done made, this same studio probably made 47 World War II movies, and we ain't got one movie about this crazy Leopold nigga to have that conversation about what's still fucking happening via what the fuck he did and all that other shit, and y'all crept
him in the movie, which means y'all know the truth about the nigga.
Oh, exactly. Yes, that just is some nasty shit.
But won't say nothing about it. Now, granted, we just got a movie about Napoleon, and we knew he was a dirtbag for quite some time. So maybe.
But even that was.
Maybe we'll get a fucking Leopold movie.
Man, they gonna fucking talk about Leopold's fucking family history and with the hardship that turned him into a monster instead of just making him a piece of fucking shit.
I mean, we still haven't gotten. I don't know why I can't remember this motherfucking name. Who was second in command for Hitler?
Oh, fuck. Some other fucking fucker.
Right, but he was supposed to be low key worse than Hitler, and we don't hear much about him.
Yeah,
and we know the history. Mussolini.
Oh yeah, that nigga.
Fucking Mussolini.
I mean, the Italians. They hung that motherfucker by his toes, didn't they?
Something along them lines, which they deserve.
That's
to.
wild.
I ain't mad at it.
So get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get your bitch ass out. I mean, you should have did that for everybody to begin with, but that's a whole nother conversation about knowing right and not doing right.
Yeah.
And letting some shit slide until it starts to affect you, and then all of a sudden you want to go ahead and. But I want to do something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see your cellular device.
Cellular device. Oh, that's women across the country that would, beat their fucking significant others up for it to be that.
What you need that for?
Get help. Everybody involved in that type of shit.
I mean, you saw the goddamn the movie we was watching.
Yeah, but
Saw how her mama was acting.
Shit, the mom, I feel like really thought that was gonna be her moment because she was really trying. I forgot the name of the film, but that Tubi shit. The person playing the mom, she thought this was her fucking moment. She was trying to steal every scene. And they just kept doing the same scene over. Like, you're not finna take your son. That's fine, cause I'm gonna take him. We gonna make grits and eggs, and I'm gonna feed him.
We are going to do.
Y'all gotta stop making niggas just a stomach. It's just one. We just one big. It's just a stomach and dick.
But that's how
I got other shit.
That's how you raised. You are raised the same way. You see,
Yeah, I can shut the fuck up talking to me about that. Like, just. And okay. Here's what I thought about too. Who is it?
It's supposed.
I thought that one was on the blue. The blue one is the one that's connected to the.
Yeah, but it ain't playing.
Fuck a duck. See, guys, this is what I'm saying. Like, anybody could be a podcaster.
Okay, never mind. That might have been my fault, but
you guys. Oh, they what? That's it. Yes. Y'all gonna blow y'all ears out on this part.
Bang bang Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang.
just barely.
Bang bang Niner gang.
You motherfuckers.
Bang bang Niner gang.
I was about to be highly upset with y'all, but it's okay.
Bang bang Niner
It's
gang.
okay. Shout out to Detroit. We
Bang
love
bang Niner
Detroit.
gang.
Y'all had a
Bang bang
fantastic
Niner
season.
gang. Against all odds, weather the storm, built for combat in battle, young hyenas in uniform. We play no games with the
But it's
opposition,
okay, we
reactive, let the whistle be the bell. We gon' get out when we got mad at. Many hit private, many hit failed. The 49ers got the livest fans in the NFL. I tried to told them we back and we never left and we got heart. Levi Stadium starting to feel like Candlestick Park. Gold blooded, my neck is frozen with diamonds. Proper 40 be on the field with the lineman, big time fixture. Niner faithful, old school like an Impala. Ask Burton Hanks and the homie.
Say that again.
E40 versus Taylor
I'm
Swift.
100% going for 40. It's grand fam. Let's knock all this shit off. Yeah, I'm
E40 versus.
R.I.P.
That's
to
gonna be
White
the
Clark,
tweet.
the
E40
cat.
versus
I'm a
Taylor
Niner
Swift
forever
versus
like Rice and Locke.
I don't wanna hear
Niner
shit.
Empire
Don't
into
shut
the
that
world
hand.
power. Bang bang Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang.
Damn, that means
Bang bang Niner gang. Who are we? Bang bang Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang.
that means we gotta hear the fucking.
Don't sue us for it.
Yeah, come on, man. It's Graham.
I ain't want to do that.
We supporting Graham fam. Don't.
Right,
don't.
we know the same people.
Yeah, come on,
40, man. You let us slide a little something.
I done drank a lot of Earl Stevens shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Equarenta, like all of it. I'm supportive. So just
His kidneys are very supportive of
I drink
your artistic creativity.
Yeah, that is. I drink a bunch of water in preparation to make sure. So big fan. I've gone into white establishments and specifically said, bring that shit out right now. So, but and that means it was like the legend of Brock Purdy. I mean, he deserves it.
Brock, Mr. Irrelevant.
They gonna say like the legend of Brock Purdy.
I mean, it really should have been him and Lamar. I honestly really do feel like with Taylor Swift attaching herself to the Chiefs that white conservative America found a way to change the script up at the last minute. Because it was supposed to be something dramatic like Mr. Irrelevant versus, Lamar, who's, he's supposed to be the next thing and he's the MVP. Like, it was supposed to be that story against them two.
I would have been.
Somehow she worked her way into the NFL over the last couple of months or few months, and she's been.
Which to me, if you're doing
somebody did that on purpose, goddammit.
Yeah, which to me, if you're doing the fucking it's always the quarterbacks that are like the faces of whatever's going on. That would have been a cooler thing to me.
Absolutely.
Like now, I know they're probably going to do this. If we're doing the quarterback thing, Goliath versus. I don't care. Like they've done it already. I don't like word to my home to them, but it would have been cool to see like this dude who's like That would have had some really fucking heartstrings. You got this dude who's last picked, nobody gives a fuck about, makes it to the Super Bowl, and Lamar, the greatest nigga that y'all just never give his fucking flowers to. Absolutely, bro.
I mean, that's
Hell
part of
yeah.
there. It's not even that they didn't give him his flowers. They keep playing, especially they played it the last few days leading up to the game, but playing how people shit on him.
Yeah.
And, like,
They keep playing
he's
him
talented,
like
but he's not going to be an NFL quarterback. He's not this. He's not that. You know, the stereotypical narrative that they say about a black quarterback just to try to discredit them. So here's two people that nobody was really counting on to be in this position, and they make it to the Super Bowl. That's a much better storyline than fucking
that
40 versus Taylor Swift.
I ain't gonna lie. I'd have Detroit should be happy. This is not even.
Oh yeah, absolutely no. Detroit, as long as y'all don't asterisk it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as y'all don't do what the fuck you did to Barry, because Barry came and y'all had a good ass team and y'all made it far in the playoffs better than you'd ever done, but you didn't use one game shy of the Super Bowl just like this team, and y'all niggas broke that team up and you were ass
they got
the
it.
next
They
year.
got it. Whatever that coach. I don't give a fuck whatever that white man asked for. Give it to him. Move fucking mountains.
Jared Goff, all of the, you keep the
Give
team the same.
Give
y'all
them
will be,
motherfuckers
y'all be all right.
everything that anything.
Yeah. Y'all not going to get no shitty draft picks this year because, well, I'm not shitty. You're not going to get great draft picks this year because you're going to be lower on the totem pole since you had a great season. But you can get some great-ass role players and add to what you already got, and you'll be straight. So, y'all, Detroit, don't do what y'all did to Barry.
Yeah, because
Don't repeat history the same way you have before, and you guys will be fine. Shout out to y'all. I want to see the Lions do great.
Yeah, I just need some. I really was looking forward to the music that JADA and fucking B.A.B. the Pac-Man was gonna give me, but I know y'all was gonna give it to Eminem to make some shit, which I mean, a word to the to his contribution, but I didn't.
Eminem versus Taylor Swift, I would have been okay with that.
Oh, yo, because
Eminem would have said some outrageous
shit.
But either way, we was gonna be okay on one side. But God, fucking damn it, y'all just had to fucking shit on the Marvelous for Taylor.
That's wild.
And Kelsey ain't even been having the traditional great season that he's been having. So that's how you know something got to be up. Because Mahomes is low-key been shaky as fuck all season. Travis has been shaky as fuck all season. And since she popped up, you niggas start playing better when you've been shitty all season. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot this. Speaking of wild ass white women. All right. So
transition.
I feel like, and I'm on record with saying I think Jane is a filthy motherfucker.
Oh yeah, you said that before.
But when you think about Disney, Jane or Belle, who's the nastier motherfucker? Because Belle was gonna fuck that motherfucker as a beast.
It ain't no was.
She was gonna let that nigga
in
roll.
The memes, she did. And in the memes that I see
Belle,
on the Instagram, she
Belle
laying naked on the hairy nigga.
She didn't know shit about she didn't know that. That Belle said, "Fuck it, we ball with this big musty monster on my back."
This hairy,
and I don't know who's because I stand on the fact that Jane is gross because that nigga been fucking these monkeys.
Oh yeah.
He been out here with these.
He ain't really been bathing and all of that.
Boy got dreads under his grundle, and Jane said, "That's me, baby. I'm gonna stick beside him."
So here, turning these into reality a little bit, right?
Oof.
I say
jail.
Hey, well, I mean, it is what it is. You can't cancel what ain't on yet, so I'll take it.
Hey, I'm saying that's a fucking.
It is what it is in that regard. But with fucking Belle, white men be that hairy anyway. Like a lot of white men really be not as hairy as Beast literally. That's a condition. But there's a lot of fucking white dudes out here that are super fucking hairy and women like that. So I can see that being in somebody's avenue to do. If you think about, especially like in other countries, but you know, you just jokingly say Zangief. Zangief had a big ass patch of hair on his chest. Austin Powers played an old school European person, but had the big ass chest hair. Chest hair was a thing at one point in time, and niggas was full bush out here with the chest hair. Still to this day,
Bell was probably bushed up under there too.
Absolutely,
Bell didn't do no grooming.
Absolutely. I mean, you had in the movie, you had Gaston. He was just smooth as a baby's ass, but that was just his thing. But in reality, especially during that time, motherfuckers was hairy. White people was hairy as shit. That's how they evolved to a degree. You evolved from monkeys, but then you stay in these colder areas, so you get hairier to help you with navigating the weather, right? That's how science said that shit works for y'all. That's why you motherfuckers are so hairy.
Bonjour, goddamn.
I mean, it ain't just them.
Oh,
To be fair, because if we go to Brazil,
Bell was French too.
she was French. They exactly.
Goddamn it, yes.
They was hairy than the motherfucker.
Yo, Bell nasty.
Absolutely. But to be fair, it is a lot of Latino and Brazil. If you can't see it, but you've seen at an angle the fine ass Brazil women. You see at an angle and you see all them blonde hairs they got on their arm. You be like, God damn, that shit is thick like carpet. You just can't tell because it's blonde. And I would have my ass all up in them hairy Portuguese cheeks. So I can't sit up here. I can't say that Bill
hit that little festive music.
Yep.
Nigga head be going side to side. Follow that.
I'm in that thing. So in reality, although she got a hairy nigga fetish. That's all that is. She thinks it's manly. He's in his divine masculine because he is enthralled within so much hairy masculineness.
I thought she just like pink wiener, but like that's cool
that
too.
I mean, she likes to see the pink wiener come out of the hairy shaft. That's her thing, like a puppy dog. That's what she like.
Belle probably when all the Disney people link up, when you go to Disneyland and all the princesses link up, I know Belle and probably slid with Tarzan a couple times.
Belle,
link up. They link up.
She fucking.
They probably do some swapping shit.
She fucking Goofy and Mickey. She's into bestiality. So she fucking with the other animals. On the flip side, though, Jane.
They might be a swappy couple.
They might be.
Them two be swapped. Them they look like a swapopolis.
Swap babaloo.
Yeah.
But yeah. Jane. To be fair,
follow us for more Disney fan fiction.
Absolutely. we should call up Leilani and see if she can add. She the Disney head. We'll see if she can add.
Oh
Disney.
fuck yeah, she probably man.
I'm sure she's thought of some. Never mind. But fucking Jane, I can see Jane during that time for white people. They wasn't bathing like that anyway. So if you think about it, Tarzan being in the jungle. And to be honest, although we give him shit, the character shit for you raised by monkeys, so yeah, you weren't bathing. The monkeys bathed too, in the animated version, and in real life, animals get in the water and play around and splash and clean themselves and go to the watering hole and all that. So they wash. Low key, they was washing just as much, or probably more than the white folks during that time in history, because they didn't understand washing.
Damn, that might be a valid
until
point.
The Moors came around. So it really is it. She was probably like, oh yeah, he smells just like the guys back home. He's just in better shape.
With soap once a month. Yeesh.
Throw the baby out with the bathwater was a terminology that came to play. Why? Because these motherfuckers were so dirty by the time you started washing. Everybody used the same bathwater. So if we washing once a month, and there's 4 people in the house, and you gonna wash the baby last. The water be so dark that you can end up throwing the bathwater out with the baby in it because you can't tell the baby's in the bathwater. It's that much dirt. If I'm not mistaken, that's where the adage comes from.
Well, I know that shit stank. They
was throwing piss and shit in the streets. There wasn't no sewage. They was just throwing it in the streets with the garbage and all of that. So
the fucking gall for motherfuckers be like, Royal Old London, this shit stank. It stank terrible. As soon as you get off the boat.
I could see because they had cobblestone streets, and you know certain types of stone get slippery when it's wet and shit. Like I can imagine people slipping and shit.
It was like one big porta potty.
Absolutely,
one fucking
until black people showed up and touched you.
Yo, just England up there talking about
teeth brown in the motherfucker.
Yeah, just one. It's just a truck stop bathroom.
Absolutely.
For fucking ages.
Nah, I ain't gonna say. It's a small structure because the fucking pilot. You go to a Pilot or a Flying J.
I'm not
them
talking
motherfuckers
about.
is nice.
I'm not talking about one of them. I'm talking about one of them motherfuckers that Mo Grizzly got killed in. Yeah.
It's got a glory hole in one of the stalls.
Yeah.
It's dark on the other side. You don't know what's in there.
There's a horror movie that like popped up on TikTok. I haven't brought myself to find and watch, but it's like it's got the dude from True Blood, Sookie's brother or whatever, and he's like at like a rest stop. And like it's alluded to that on the other side of like this in this stall, he's like basically talking to fucking what's that old fucking Lovecraftian guy with the tentacles coming out of his face. Damn.
Don't remember.
But yeah, it's like it's alluded to that he's talking to him the whole time in the stall. It looks like it could almost be mildly terrifying and like hilarious. I'm probably gonna get around to watching it.
I'm not going to play with you.
It looks fucking.
It's
nuts.
interesting to see some of these movies, but some of them I like. I don't have no interest in watching that. Like I want to know what happens to a degree, but I don't want to know what happens. Kind of like with the fucking Winnie the Pooh.
Cthulhu.
That
That fucker.
You watched the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
No, I gotta maybe find the middle ground between what you're saying and what I said because I'm not gonna go find it. It's one of those I think if it pops up on my screen, I would watch it until it pissed me off. I'll say that. Like if it was on like if it popped up on like Netflix, I'd be like, all right, let me see if this is as trash as I think it is, and I'll give it as long as it goes until I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, no. So some of those, it's like,
Yeah. Although scary slasher movies I haven't watched in a while because it's just. It'd be like scary shit. It's got to be some shit that makes me think like, fuck, I would struggle to get up out of this. When people say they're like scared or like scream, like I can fight this nigga.
yeah, no.
Yeah, fuck that. Like you know, like
a regular skinny type high school kid
yeah, like
that's killing everybody. No, I ain't talking about. I like horror films that kind of like you, like not just thinking your way out of it, but there's more to it than just grotesque gruesomeness. Some of the like cult classic or low budget slasher horror movies, you know, the people that like horror and are into that genre, they're really not like the joke is the plots suck. The movies stink. They're really not that great. The acting is kind of trash. You just like the fact that it's a terrible movie with lots of gore. That's cool. That's your thing. I don't want to watch a movie just for the gore part.
yeah, nah.
It's like, okay, like if the stories like the first few Saws, I've said that before. The first few Saws, I watched those because the plot and how everything wrapped together and how all the people were connected and how they had to get out and the decisions they had to make, like that made it interesting. I didn't really need to see, you know, somebody's head exploding with dynamite or nails clamping on their head and smushing them and all. I don't need to see that shit. But I'll watch it for the sake of the movie and plot being great. But if the movie and plot's not great and it's just grotesque for no reason, I'm cool.
Yeah.
No bueno for me.
What you think about this Vince McMahon shit?
Let me see that phone again.
Open up motherfucking shit. They said Vince was in the text messages going crazy.
You know, look,
I did this little.
I'm gonna go back to the cancel comment because I may say some shit that is not gonna be. It's not gonna be thrilling for some people, and that's okay. But you know, we're here now. So, but
Vince said fill him up airtight.
I mean,
yeesh.
Sorry, Vince.
No chance. That's what you got. What we got, some machine too strong. Pretty politicians buying souls for run song puppets. Won't find their place.
The man's character was a play on his real life to a degree.
It's just a matter of time.
like,
I mean, Vince has already resigned himself from most of the positions, which doesn't mean anything because he's still in control and he still appoints people to be in control for him. But I understand
somebody got to
removing-
walk in the court playing that shit. Whether you Vince on
the
Vince,
walk and everything.
yeah, whether you on Vince side and you like fuck it, or whether you the prosecutor saying you got no fucking chance. But like somebody just got to go for
that
it.
somebody has to play that. Now, I'll give a little bit of a
shit.
hot take, although I'm being facetious in regards to Vince being guilty. And I've shared this with you off air, and I've actually, oddly enough, so I'll preface it from what I'm about to say. I sent the text messages that they released. I sent it to Leilani, and she doesn't really have context as to what's going on. She's not a wrestling person like that. She Disney and kink, that's her thing. But I sent it to her, and I was just like, "What do you think?" And she was explaining like, "Well, in the kink community, based off the text message, they were kind of establishing their contract. There's consent. They agreed upon what they were trying to do. It's actually very detailed. It just shows that there's nothing going on here that would be of an issue. They're just kind of discussing based on whatever their kink norms are." And she's expressing this to me without knowing anything about the case. And she kind of read some other stuff and was like, yeah, they're saying sexual assault or trafficking, rape and all this. She's like, based on what's in the text messages, none of that is taking place. This is actually kind of a binding contract between two people within the kink community. Like that's whatever. But I preface that because that's how I felt about it. Me learning more about the kink BDSM community and things of that nature is like the things that they were saying that he did to her, and then looking at the text messages like, oh, they were just into some kinky shit, and when the kinky shit didn't work out for her the way that she thought it would, she's flipping the script and saying that it's coming from an assault or trafficking or rape type situation, and that's not how I see it. Now, that's not to say that Vince handled the situation 100% ethically. That's not to say that Vince is not in the wrong or possibly in the wrong for what he may or may not have done to her behind closed doors. But looking at it from a different lens as opposed to just seeing the inflammatory words of sexual assault and all this other stuff that's thrown into the mix that will make you look at the situation a particular way. It's like, nah, she consented to, if I enter into this type of dynamic with you, it's going to help me propel my career. It's going to benefit me financially and professionally. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes for that, which we see movies about that all the time. We got a whole genre in porn for that when it comes to the fucking casting couch. Like, I'm willing to do whatever to progress myself in a certain manner. He shit on her head. He defecated on her head in the midst of a threesome and shit like that. That I don't see that as trafficking. If that's something that is not the first time, like you discussed that with him, you agreed to that because you were trying to get ahead or trying to get paid in some capacity. You consented to some kinky shit with somebody that wanted to do kinky shit. You agreed upon a certain thing. There's text messages or words surrounding it which are technically used as a contract. But we're so used to not really knowing or understanding about kink and BDSM to where we'll automatically say that it's a charge as opposed to knowing within that community that's normal. Like, people, there's people, and I've shared with you before, you can go on FetLife and have people share their profile and say that that's what they're looking for.
I guess, yeah, that's sometimes what I wonder is like, is there a boundary between like, because even if you want to say like, I don't even have a problem saying that like maybe Vince is just a wild nigga, like he's, or like, a creepy dude or whatever adjective you want to put to it. But
his character on his show that he runs and has been helping script for the last 30 plus years is him being a dastardly, dirty old rich man.
Yeah.
He's playing the stereotypical conservative, really rich white man that is willing to let a pretty face do anything to him to get ahead, but he's going to cross them in the end, and he's going to cross anybody because I'm the boss and I do what I want and nobody. Like, that's the character he's playing. And I'm sure there's part of that art imitates life to a degree, but then everybody else that interacts with him says that, like, He's very type A. He's going to be on top of his shit. He's always going to work, but he's a great guy and he's going to take care of everybody.
Yeah, I guess like that's my kind of my question. Like, if you're, I mean, I guess the kink thing is part of it, or part of what's going rattling around in my brain of like, you being maybe like a dickhead person doesn't necessarily qualify you for being like, oh, you like sexual assault is like just that's a different level of fucking offense and fucked up shit. Like, we can kick his back in for like, why are you such an asshole? Why are you a mean person? Why are you a cheat? Why are you a snake? Why are you whatever? But like, to go, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes, like, I'm just very big for, if you do the crime, you do the time, but do the time for what the fuck happened.
Right.
I'm not necessarily, and like I said, I haven't done no research on this, so it comes out again like throw the motherfucker under the jail at the bottom, send him down there to fucking Tartarus. I'm not like rocking with Vince like that. But it's like, if there's nothing that says sexual assault, then, I just feel like that's such a fucking thing. Other than like, you agreed to let this nigga boo boo on you.
Right. I want you, if he was really being dastardly and actually assaulting you, absolutely. As much as I love wrestling, it's a part of my whole life. By Vince. And Vince has been on his way out anyway. They did the deal with TKO. The Rock is going to come in and start helping. Triple H is running.
This is some crazy shit prior to Netflix. Like.
Right. So all this stuff, like, Vince doesn't have to be a part of this anymore. They've been working for the last 5 years to really sell WWE so Vince can step away. Mm-hmm. So that's also part of it, because then all these scandals start coming out when he's trying to step away and sell the company and all this other stuff. Because this is like the second time somebody's made allegations, but the last allegation somebody made, they found out that was bullshit. So it kind of got swept under the rug. Mm-hmm. It could end up being the same with this one, but I don't think somebody that's been in business for 40 plus years and hasn't had a bad rep, and everybody that's worked with him and say, yeah, he can be an asshole sometimes, but he's an asshole for the sake of the art. Like, I'm not sacrificing. This is the storyline that I want done, and this is how we're going to run it, and these are the changes that we're going to make, and you either get in line or I'm going to fire you, because this is how we're going to run this show here. I can see that being a different type of asshole than I agreed to have sex with you, but I invited somebody else in here that you didn't know about, and I shit on you and you didn't consent to it. Like, I don't see that type of person being that type of asshole unless you consented to it. And
I mean, I guess if that's the conversation, then that would make more sense to me. From what I saw, it just seemed like we did some shit, I was cool with it, and then it gets into that gray space of how kind of these conversations go around, like, where's the line between, like, I'm not comfortable, say it now, or like, I was doing it and then I wasn't comfortable later, but I didn't say nothing, so now, because that's what the conversations always kind of get muddy on the internet when people talk about it. Like, if you were doing it, you were engaged in it, and then you went home and was like, actually, I wasn't as comfortable. Like, what is the...
I mean, that's where it gets muddy for, say, people like us that are on the outside looking in, because somebody will easily say, well, why did you continue consenting to something that you didn't feel comfortable with? You did that for money. You had a benefit from it. So whatever. It's like, we can call that victim blaming, because they're looking at one perspective where you had every right to stop the acts from happening, but you chose not to because you were afraid. No, you wanted to keep the money coming in. Like, there's people that can say that perspective. And when the gravy train stopped, that's when you decided to start speaking up about shit. And then there's the other side that may say, no, even if it's a week later after we've done something, if I decide that I feel uncomfortable, I should be able to press charges.
Yeah, and I guess it would be like more of because I didn't see anything, at least in the little texting that I saw, that would make more sense if it's like, Vince kind of doing that, weird motherfucking shit where it's like, hey, look, you finna do this, or you'll never do anything around this motherfucker again. Like, I like poop, and I like you fucking on 3 black dudes or whatever. Like, either do that or it's over with. Like, if there's something, I feel like if there's something in that ballpark, then like, all right, it's
yeah, you could talk about it in that regard. If it starts out in his agreement and then he starts leveraging it to manipulate or blackmail you, then I can understand, maybe not trafficking and maybe not assault, but I can see it being some sort of sexual misconduct because he's leveraging that over you. Absolutely. In the text messages, I didn't read none of that. And she went in with the conversation, agreeing to it and saying, hey, you know, give me a couple of days to get ready. I need some time. And then we can definitely do whatever it is that you want to do. So it's like your responses aren't saying this thing either. So
it's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild. But I think the part of the conversation I had with Leilani is like, to a degree, that's why I feel like if we're having more conversations about trans now, right? Like today's time, we're having way more conversations about shit than we grew up hearing. We had to hear shit on our own or be exposed to shit on our own. Now we're talking about trans and LGBTQ and same sex and poly and non-religious. And we're talking about all these things, but we still haven't started having conversations about kink and BDSM openly. Should we start having those conversations more? Because celebrities, you and I, we're regular ass people, right? No, but we're not celebrities. We can go to a play party and it's no problem. We just pay our fee. We make sure our tests are up to date. If we decide we want to play or have sex or participate, like long as our tests are clean and we pay our fee and people vet us and they feel safe with us coming, we can go. Celebrities can't do that. So if I'm a celebrity that's into kinky shit, I have to do kinky shit with other celebrities or people that are comfortable doing kinky shit with celebrities and not disclosing what they're doing behind closed doors. But if we had these conversations more openly about, yes, there's people that are into alternative things sexually. They like this stuff sexually and it's okay. It may make them feel more comfortable to have those conversations without putting themselves at risk to be taken advantage of. Because technically, if she's trying to flip the script, she's taking advantage of him because it's like, oh, you selling the company for this amount of money, I'm about to get a piece of that. So like if we humanize kind of what we talked about earlier as far as, you know, which one is safer, if we were humanizing celebrities to say a celebrity can still be great at their craft, whether it's sports, whether it's acting, whether it's producing, writing, directing, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 and still be alternative or non-conventional when it comes to relationships or sexual conduct. Like, that's okay. And if we allow them to be open with that, then they can probably keep themselves a whole lot safer.
I mean, that makes sense.
Now they got us NDAs. You just got to have somebody sign an NDA, but even that ain't going to 100% help you no more, to be honest.
Well, no.
So
you just got to kind of, you low-key, like, come in full circle. You got to kind of, in certain aspects, Kevin Gates is shit. Like, I eat ass, so nobody can make fun of me for that. Like,
right, but Kevin Gates is still, I think, to a degree, with Kevin, he's not even, no disrespect to him, he's not a top-tier rapper in the game.
It's valid.
Kevin he's black famous. J. Cole is top tier. Like, he's world renowned. He can go anywhere and people know who J. Cole is. For the
we
most
know
part.
Drake used that hot sauce.
Right. Yeah, we found that out just randomly, right? But even for Drake, like, Drake got to be into. You had a baby by a porn star. You got to be into some shit. You rented out the whole stadium to take this boy's mama on a date on the baseball field, and the only reason you know about it is because the helicopters flew over. Like, Drake has money to move in certain ways to keep some of his shit private, even though part of him doesn't want to because his ego, I'm sure, plays a role in that. But I'm sure Drake is into some shit to a degree, maybe not as dastardly as Vince, but even say with fucking Trey Songz. Trey Songz was supposed to be into some shit. What's the other
Trey got too many hits of shit that is like, hey man, like, it seems like everybody's not a participant in the fun like you.
Right.
Like, it just seems like it's you and then everybody else just kind of got to figure it the fuck out. Like,
right. Trey had his shit going on, and I don't know. I ain't heard much about it, so I don't know how that's going to play out or if they're still investigating or whatever the situation is with that. But OBJ, when they had the allegations of him, you know, liking to be shit on or peed on or whatever.
See, I think people got to start also kind of like, it's not so much, I mean, I guess cite your source, but like, I definitely viewed like the OBJ thing of like, oh, you just was somebody who was mad at this nigga because he was like, yeah, no, I'm through, and I'm the fucking motherfucker I'm the catch or whatever the fuck how y'all be putting the words. That's why you gotta have a team, but whatever. As opposed to like where if I'm looking at what I've heard from the Trey Songz shit is like, hey yo, this is a lot of things back to back to back, and this motherfucker's that it's not boy people going, man, fuck this money, I'm rich, this nigga crazy, like, so in some of those, and I'm like, this is you're looking a little wild, my boy.
Right.
You're looking a little, this is looking
Right. But if we have these conversations about all these different things more openly, I think it makes it easier to sift through who's a fucking sociopath and who's just kinky.
Yeah.
So when somebody brings up a case, you can look and say, nah, there's a probability that he was really out here moving real nasty, as opposed to, nah, he's been actually very open that he's into this shit over here, and I think she just trying to get over.
That's a good point.
So, like, not to say that we got to throw it in people's faces, because I'm definitely not a fan of bombarding people with information and identities and all that other stuff that they don't want to utilize. But I think we do at least need to have more conversations about it. Just like I would have preferred, say, with the pronouns, I would have wished we had more conversations around why people use pronouns and giving them the ability to use that if they want to, as opposed to just saying that now everybody should start using pronouns because it's inclusive, and you're forcing it on people without the understanding, which is going to create a rift or some hatred or misunderstanding and all types of other things like that. I think these situations need to have conversation around them more casually before we end up having to react a certain way because nobody said shit.
Bars. I'm not gonna lie, this last scene threw me. I was paying attention until this motherfucker got stabbed, kissed, and then somebody got summoned.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm gonna watch it. What the fuck? But I'm gonna just say I agree because you was cooking. You was cooking.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind with Vince. I'm not gonna say Vince is 100% innocent. I'm not gonna say that Vince was moving morally forthright through all the whole situation. I don't know the ins and outs of that. That's in a whole nother tax bracket far beyond my understanding. So I can't call it. I just like watching wrestling. But other than that, from what I've seen and just letting myself think outside the box, I think Vince was just your stereotypical super rich white collar white dude that I'm too high profile to be able to do some kinky shit openly. So I have to figure out a way to do it privately, and this person was willing to be able to do stuff privately with me and other people that are into some kinky shit, and when it's no longer profitable for her, now it's a case and saying I trafficked her. And because even part of it, like, they brought Brock Lesnar into it and said that supposedly they started bringing other names. They didn't name Brock Lesnar, but they said a person who used to be a UFC superstar that came to the WWE. And there's only two motherfuckers in WWE that can actually, no, I think there's two men. There's Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. But Bobby Lashley came from Bellator. He didn't come from UFC. Mm-hmm. But he went to MMA and came back. And then there's Ronda Rousey, who came from UFC. I don't think they're talking about her. And then there's another woman, I think her name is Shayna Baszler. She was a UFC fighter or MMA fighter and came over to the WWE. So it can only be Brock because everybody else either came from a different promotion or they're a woman, and they said a man.
Fair.
So, but they were just saying Brock was a part of it, of like Vince was showing him stereotypically what a lot of dudes have done at one point in time, be like, hey, check this out.
Oh, shit, man. You're going to have to take away half. Shit, you can go to any business, I'm
right?
Sure, yeah,
it's any people, and I don't know. If
I'm not supporting that. I'm just saying, like,
right. But I don't know if he showed them pictures or text messages of what she said she'd be willing to do or whatever. And supposedly he showed Brock, and Brock was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm down with that."
I thought my bad. I thought they were showing actions.
No, I don't know if it was footage or pictures or just words, but how they said it in the thing was like when he was trying to negotiate bringing Brock back, he showed Brock what she said she would be willing to do.
You might want to come back over here, man. They fucking over here.
But just let them know, like, hey,
they throwing it over
I know
here,
you
Brock.
into this, and she said, you know, if you willing to come back, she said she willing to do this for you.
Brock,
she willing to do all this shit that you into here. Check it out. This is her saying right now. She ready for you. All you got to do is let me know.
She said you come back, you know, suck this shit.
Right. Right. And so that's how he got brought into it. But that makes me think of, well, in He Got Game, Jesus went on his college trip, and there's two white girls in the room with their titties out. Like, you come to the school, you can have this all the time. And I'm sure there's thousands of kids every year that go on trips to schools, and whether it's another athlete, a
You find the
booster.
right podcast, they've said as much. I've
They've
heard that
said as
before.
much.
Yeah.
So if we're going to say that that's trafficking because you're willing to do something for his benefit and you're willing to do something for somebody that he's trying to recruit, that's trafficking, then you can say a lot of these institutions are trafficking some of these girls on campus. And I'm not discrediting to say that's not a thing, but if we're going to look at how you're going to word something, we have to word it across the board. And that means you got to bring a lot more motherfuckers in than just Vince.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we want to have the conversation of her being 100% right? And now we got a lot of people that we really need to start being harder on and start bringing them in and start cutting some of these loose ends? Or do we want to be more open and talk about, well, there's a possibility that he's into some shit that we say is taboo, and that's what really this is, and we should educate ourselves on what that is so we're not getting people in trouble, or we're not missing a situation where somebody's trying to manipulate whatever, somebody's sexual preferences, so to speak. Because that could be a form of discrimination too. Vince could come out, for all I know, and be like, no, I'm really into alternative lifestyle. I'm kinky as fuck, and she's trying to utilize my sexuality as a means to blackmail me.
I feel like motherfuckers probably. I feel like I'm gonna say this because I was gonna go some questions, but that actually makes that makes sense because I feel like even if I'm making that joke from back in the day when like Amber Rose called like Kanye a finger in the booty ass nigga, like if Kanye goes shit's lit, what do you say to that nigga? Like if you know like the way niggas now, like if you watch, like I'm seeing Tank say it in interviews, I've seen Joe Budden say it on the pod, I've seen a bunch of other motherfuckers talk about it where it's like, get my ass, hey guys. It's not. I don't give a fuck. Right. Shit's lit. So you can't even make fun of that motherfucker no more. So I feel like, just to piggyback off that, if you are into some alternative shit, low key, you just gotta cut. Yeah, that's me. Like I'm into that. What's that? Tony Beck. Oh yeah, I'm into that. You just gotta say I'm into that
and call it a day. And be
yeah,
okay with it. But like that means we have to embrace certain conversations that we're not trying to embrace right now.
Yeah, I feel like for celebrities, that should be. I feel like that shouldn't be a hard transition for celebrities. Shouldn't be, because it's like everybody's favorite line. They nasty in Hollywood. So if that motherfucker comes out, you know he has a breakout role, and also you find out this nigga love threesomes on Thursdays. Mind your business. Like it's me and my gardener, and we just be fucking. We just be all in here fucking around and whatever. But also I'm up to play fucking Green Lantern, so I could do both.
Yeah. I mean, the stereotype is what you said first. The stereotype is people in Vince's position, rich people with power and this, that, and the other. They're the people that are paying these dominatrices to stomp on their nuts. Like, it's dominatrices out here living lavishly because they have clientele like Vince.
Why ain't no powerful billionaire woman want her coochie punched? I'm gonna slap a titty or two.
I'm sure there's. I'm 1,000% sure there's women that have either the access to those funds or have those funds that are out here paying for some shit too.
Get these jumper cables, put them titties out, man.
Right? No, there's based on conversations that I've had with people.
You said you the fucking heir to to whatever the fuck this computer chip is. And
she likes X, Y, and Z. It's on both sides, male and female. There's rich people out there that they're paying for privacy to explore because they've done so much shit that us regular people can't fathom. So it gets old at some point, right? We can go to any party, even say like, use the extreme. We go to a play party. There's fucking cocaine and drugs and shit and people fucking over here and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. That seems extreme for us. But for somebody that's of that caliber, in that lifestyle on a regular basis, around those types of people, like rich fucking Dan Brazilian got 15,000 women on his boat naked every Saturday. Like, it's random for me to go to a boat party and see ass and titties because I don't see that often. But for him that sees it on a random Wednesday,
I feel like I just want to be regular rich because I just like, even when I hear niggas talk about the parties, I just feel like I just don't really want to be where I can't go to the party and be like, damn, ass is good. Like I don't want to get to the point where it's like it's just butt. Like I like ass. Like this shit's lit.
I mean, you can
look at them titties, man.
Just say the same thing about Prince to a degree.
Yeah, I know Prince was like. That's why I feel like we just gave Prince a pass because Prince,
Because he was different, but he was himself.
yeah, and collectively we all understand that Prince has fucked more women than we've seen. So if
Right.
Prince came in and said he was betrothed to a llama, we wouldn't have moved. Nobody would have budged.
But that's because Prince was open, having a conversation that I am who I am. I'm going to do what I do. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. This is what it is. If we allowed everybody that is a celebrity to have that kind of grace, like if random example, I don't know if it is or isn't, but with how Janelle Monáe has been open the last few years with her shit. If she came out and said she liked to pee on people or get peed on, would we really be surprised?
Girl, just drop the fucking album. Piss on who you want.
Like, we wouldn't care because she's been very open about, I like men and women. I like what I like. We might do some group stuff. It ain't even as, like, in my music videos, you see all of us being very androgynous, very intimate, very sexually open and expressive. Would you really be surprised if I said that we was doing some shit like this over here? No. The rumors about Will and Jada being fucking swingers and all this other shit that's gone on all these years. If they came out and was honest about certain shit, would we be surprised? No, not really. It's shit that we heard about Trump. Were we really surprised? No, because we know he's a dirtbag. We know that he's a shiesty motherfucker, and we know that he's going to do the stereotypical rich white man thing. So allegations against him. Yeah, that shit, none of that shit's surprising, but that's because we understand these people are who they are, and they've shown us their truth. There's tons of other celebrities. If Vince Staples came out and told you he like getting shitted on or like shitting on bitches.
I'm going to laugh. I'm going to still support dog music.
Right, but they'd be like, what? Vince? What the fuck? Because that's not something that you would expect from Vince, so to speak. So I think, not to say he's innocent, but I think celebrities and people of higher caliber lifestyles, we should allow them the grace to be more open about who they are, to where they can kind of protect themselves from situations like this that could potentially just be somebody trying to take advantage of them for money.
Bars.
But if you guilty, we should take all your money and donate it to charity.
Yeah, and throw you on. I'm staying on that. Go under jail.
Yeah, no. I mean, granted, Vince, if he is guilty, I don't think he would go to regular jail anyway, because he is who he is. They'd find a way to Martha Stewart it for him, depending on the situation. But questions.
Question time. Time for y'all to ask us questions. Answer shit. Question time.
Got a little bit more lyrics this time.
Yeah. Let's do this today. Y'all got a lot of. Okay, fuck y'all. It's just heavy. Like, it's heavy. All right. Personally and business wise, what is your why? Oh, look at you motherfuckers trying to listen and throw the shit back to okay, motherfuckers.
I feel like, well, no. I was going to say, I feel like we've answered this question, but I've answered this question a number of different times in the different panel discussions. And I just answered this at the fucking healing circle that I just facilitated on Friday. They asked me the same question.
Salute to that, healing circles.
Absolutely. More than welcome to come.
Yeah,
for you guys watching, if you're in LA, it'll be every Friday, at least for the first couple of months, at the Capo Center.
Bars.
Y'all can come show out. I already asked them how they would feel about me inviting people that are not in the little program. But y'all more than welcome to come. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see me post it somewhat regularly, and then it'll shift to bi-weekly from there. But if you want to come be a part of the healing circle, by all means do so. Some young individuals trying to turn their life around, being a part of this program. I think it will be beneficial for them to see other people and all that other stuff. So, but yeah, some of the people in that group asked me that question, and I just answered it. So I answer that question a lot. All that to say, I'm going to defer to you.
Oh, okay.
So you can talk your shit, because I don't think people get to hear that from you very often.
I mean, personally and business wise. So, I mean, I guess I'm merging them all, because the career, the this. One would be a way to, I've said that before, like cheat the system. I feel like this for sure is a way to express myself and be my absolute self, and it doesn't feel like work. outside of the paperwork side, when I'm like in the field doing like the therapy shit, connecting with people, I like it. Like I like seeing, especially like for, you know, communities that we come from. I like seeing people make that turn, make that adjustment. That's something I figured out like years ago when I first started in this field. Like seeing somebody come from a certain space and get to a better space, and I'm a part of that. And I was like, oh, I'm fucking with this. I'm fucking with like being part of something that makes me feel good, as opposed to just, you know, everybody's dreary story. Like you go to work and you just grind fucking all day and you just get the bag. I want the bag. Don't get me fucking wrong, but I enjoy that. So why is kind of a help thing. It's kind of all come around like helping, and I feel like in this is a space I figured out how to help and benefit people with my voice. So that's kind of my why. Both spaces, I'm using my voice, my brain, my this, my that, and it's something that I feel like I can do for a long time. I'm gonna stop being strong at some point. I'm gonna get old and rickety and frickety dickety. But as far as I can tell, I can keep this motherfucker between my brains really up to par for a while. And I've just seen, like, you know, in some form or fashion, lives change. I've been doing this enough where I see a motherfucker that I remember. This nigga was kicking up mad shit. And, hey, Mr. DJ, I'm working over here now. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is it. This is nuts. I like this. This is fucking cool. And somehow, some way, motherfuckers, I figured out a way where this actually leads to you making money where I can do some of this cool shit too. And I can do both. I can make money and not be a piece of shit. Sign me up, champ. On top of that, this big overarching theme of like, I want to see us do better as a community, as a people. And this is my way of doing that. So, why?
I'll keep mine short. Because, like I said, I've explained it before. If you really want to have the deep understanding of these things, just talk to us more. Like we have these serious conversations all the time, but y'all like the silly shit, so we do the silly shit. But I have these serious conversations all the time. So, in alignment with what TJ shared about his why, I'll sum mine up and just say it's just representation. I like being able to be positive representation in a space that doesn't have a lot of representation of us. Doesn't have a lot of us as a resource, and by us I don't mean just black people, I mean black men. So being able to be a resource to a community of black men that need some representation and they don't always have it, I like being able to be that. I like being able to change the narrative in a lot of different regards. I like being non-conventional. Ta-da, surprising. I like being able to not look like the stereotypical therapist or talk or act like the stereotypical therapist. I like being able for our community, like you said, we both started out working with the same kids, and those kids being able to see us in a different light than they may normally see black men in their lives. Or even for, say, I've had with female clients that have been sexually assaulted. So I know them choosing a man to work with is a big step for them in the first place. And me being able to help them with their traumas and their struggles to see a different narrative or a different representation of men when their trauma comes from men. So I can, I'm the healing portion of you having a relationship with men, whereas you may have come here from a traumatic, unhealed relationship type of dynamic with men. So just being able to kind of break stigmas and stereotypes and things of that nature and be representation of men, of black men, of the black community, of this, of that, all within this space that doesn't have a lot of that floating around. So my why is to basically the same as him, kind of give back and be something different to a community of people that need it. That's the short answer.
Bars. Let's see if I can get something. This is a little interesting. What's greater, a hero's ability to persevere or a villain's confidence? That was fucking heavy.
I feel like that's an easy one to answer, kind of. Because, like, the whole narrative of what makes a hero is his ability to endure and his why for choosing to endure. Whereas for a villain and their confidence is normally what their downfall is. Like somebody like, for example, what would come to mind is Riddler. Riddler knows that he's a genius. He knows that he's brilliant. And because he knows that he's brilliant, he's also battling with himself to prove his superiority to himself, which makes him slip up against Batman, who's the world's greatest detective. That's why he gets caught all the time, because he did too much thinking, or I feel like I'm so smart, I'm going to overthink this situation and underthink the shit that I should really pay attention to. And I'm only focusing on doing it the way that I think that I can prove my superiority, not thinking about the person and their abilities. Like, Batman. You keep fighting this nigga. You keep getting caught by him. You know how he thinks. You know something about him based on experience to where you should understand he's going to think of it this way, which means I should probably do this because that may trick him. Like, you're not thinking of it that way. Your ego is telling you to do it how you want to do it because you want to feel smart, and that's your fuck up. But there's like every hero, every villain does that to a degree, with the exception of Joker. Because Joker just is like, I want you to catch me because that's part of our relationship. So I don't really care about getting caught. I'm not really trying to be sly or avoid jail and all that other stuff. I want you to catch me because that's part of our relationship. All the other villains, their ego gets in the way. So that's kind of the dynamic of the two. They're supposed to respond in these ways because that's what embodies the word that is attached to them. The hero is going to be the hero because he endures for a larger why. The villain is going to be the villain because his ego makes him have a purpose that makes him feel more important or superior to the cause or other people.
Yeah, my response, I don't know if those depending who you talk to, I don't know if these qualify as villains. And I initially thought about that question like, the perseverance also wins because writers wanted to. But I think Thanos is fucking confident. I think, what was that movie? I think Ozymandias is confident. Like, I already sent the missile off, like, whatever the fuck he did in that movie. Like, I pressed the button long before you niggas got here. I know how this story goes. I'm very confident and very smart. I'm here to kind of, let you niggas process what's going to happen. And if we're looking at some big picture version of it, what they did, can be debated as what's the greater good or whatnot. But they're still villains. They kill a lot of people and blah, 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 blah. Or, even early Kratos, like, we like him because he's a hero of the story, but like that nigga did a lot of villainous shit and off sheer, I guess that was perseverance. So yeah, I guess technically heroes' perseverance wins out, but I don't know. Sometimes I think villains lose because the story tells them to lose, but them motherfuckers be having that shit in the bag wrapped up, and it's, I guess, it ain't confidence, it's arrogance that be beating them because them niggas, you can persevere all the fuck you want, nigga. This plan is sealed tight. Your niggas is over with. But I'll say perseverance for the sake of it because that's how the shit go.
Yeah.
Mental health advice for all the journalists losing their jobs. Nicki Minaj is a trash person.
Well, for that first part, advice for all the journalists losing their jobs. We haven't lost ours, so pay us to help you process through your grief, and we can go in that regard. For the second part, for Nikki being trans.
Trash.
Oh, trash. Okay, I thought it said
She's a trash person.
I thought it said she's a trans person. I was about to say that's kind of silly.
She's a trash person.
I mean, I don't disagree. I don't say that to say that Nikki is trash. It's like I don't really see much about Nikki to where it's like, no, Nikki is to where I want to defend her. I can see her being a trash person. I can see her being an asshole in certain situations. I can see her being a little bit of an annoyance in certain situations. Depending on how you look at it, you married a sex offender, so part of you is probably trash because you could have chosen a lot of people that had better reputations, better records, better whys, better everything than him, and you made a convict for sexual assault rich.
Convict.
Right. So there's aspects to her to where, yeah, she could be a trash person in a lot of different ways, but she can also be a great person in a lot of different ways as well. Either way, she ain't paying me no money, so I really don't give a shit. Nikki is, I won't say past her prime, but it's not her time anymore. So I don't really care. I don't see why we would discuss her. And it doesn't really matter to me. But for the journalists losing their jobs, yeah, get you a therapist to process your grief, to keep your mind together. That way you can make sure that you stay empowered and encouraged and, aware of your ability so that you can go and get the next job if you're struggling with that. Some people might say, fuck it, I lost my job and I'm going to go do my thing. And for all the people that are fucking journalists or writers for fucking Sports Illustrated, y'all don't have no job no more. That shit don't exist anymore, basically. But that doesn't mean that you can't get another job somewhere else. Somebody needs your talents for whatever reason. So there's work out there for you. But if you're struggling with it emotionally and it's keeping you from being able to do what you do, get you somebody to talk to, a professional to talk to. Don't just be venting to whoever. But find you a professional to talk to help you process your grief. Give yourself some time to work through it. Hopefully you got some ducats saved away to where you can kind of chill and do your thing and not overwhelm your nervous system. And then get yourself back out there once you feel like you've addressed some shit to make you more comfortable. Nikki,
Yeah, I don't have much for the I like different, do what you can to maintain your mental health. I know motherfuckers want to stay in their field. If you can, you can. If you need to make moves to make money, do that. If the job's not available, do not be one of these people who's too prideful to do whatever they need to do to just kind of make ends meet in the moment. And yeah, absolutely, do what you can to maintain your mental health. Like, if you can afford a therapist, do that. If you can, whatever. I know it's kind of like a vague, open answer, but take the steps you can to maintain that. And like you said, like with the Nicki being, I don't know Nicki personally, with Nicki rap, I'm a fan. When some of this other shit happened, I'm kind of heads or tails of it. But
yeah.
I don't know enough about some of the stuff Nicki does to qualify her as a real trash person. I'm on record saying some of the fucking antics online, I don't like that with a lot of artists. So
yeah.
But I don't know about her as a person, but I mean shit, motherfucker may be trash. I don't know. Like, I hope.
Right.
Hope
What you
not.
mean trash? Like she's a dirtbag in the bedroom? That would be nice, but
That
even
would
then,
be nice, man.
Even then, I still wouldn't care, but it would be nice.
I just would like y'all to, because y'all be saying too much shit about it. So I feel like y'all got to be.
Should be more like Cardi. Cardi's open with it to a degree.
He used to give y'all 3. It's 3. That's another one that has some Meg shit. Meg's a piece of shit too, low key.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, I really ain't gonna argue with that.
Okay. Why do some people say today's society is weak or soft? All right. Let's get a rapper. Why?
Because y'all niggas is. Y'all soft as fuck.
I mean,
it's job security for me, so fuck it. Come sit down. No, I'm joking. Would you like to dive into that, or because I have some thoughts. I've actually had recent conversations about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's validity. You have to cite your source. If you're coming from a past generation, everybody always compares their situation as we came from the hardest and worst of times. When I was your age, I would have done A, B, and C. So I think that is definitely like a big chunk of why people say that. Also, I feel like, social media makes everybody's voice louder than it maybe would be in real life. So it's not like motherfuckers haven't felt sad, motherfuckers haven't had grievances, haven't had gripes. But I didn't know what the fuck Ashley McSwanson was doing in Iowa like 20 years ago. I would have never fucking known that. I can know that verbatim now. And she's self-diagnosing herself. So she's just, instead of having like, I don't know, she's having like a bad couple months and not taking everything into account, but she's going to go online and say, I am diagnosed with depression. Not talking about those who have gone and really got diagnosed and doing the work, but some people are just like, this looks good. I looked up these fucking symptoms on Google. I have this. I'm fucked up. My life is worse than yours. We are all just like vomiting online about how bad our situations are. And nobody's like using, my favorite words, context and nuance. So everybody's looking like, and I think a lot of people on the internet are the loudest. What am I trying to say? The loudest people are the people who always will make like small things, quote unquote, the issue. So like with me and him or this dude across the street might take in stride, I'm not going to go on the internet and talk about like, I had a bad day because they put my fucking order wrong in the thing and it's been making me spiral down. You're not going to catch me do that. If you catch me do that, you need to come find me immediately, because that is my 13th fucking reason. I have snapped.
Get that nigga out the street.
Exactly. You need to go find him. He's lost it. But there are people who do that shit daily. So if you're outside looking at it, you go, oh yeah, these people are soft, and you play it towards your personal experience. You might have lost a loved one last week and have kept it together healthily. Some of y'all are keeping it together in a very terrible way, and I'm not supporting that. You have to go get help. You have to talk to somebody. You have to work those fucking feelings out, grieve. But there's somebody who's doing that and who's keeping their life afloat. And then there's somebody who, was a young 19-year-old who works at Starbucks, who really, for lack of a better word, doesn't have a lot of bad shit going on in their life. And they had a heavy day, and it's the worst day ever. So you're going to look at that person and be like, hey, yo, you kind of got to, toughen up. But on the flip side, the negative side to that is there is groups like whatever, boomer, who just think that they would have made it in World War One. They think that they're like the greatest ever. If my leg blew off, I would just get a shoestring and tie it back together because I'm a man. So it's a bit of both. But basically, everybody's comparing their experience and not really fully understanding what the fuck another motherfucker's going through.
Right. I'll add on to that and say, not only are they doing that, but they're also inflating their experience as well, right? The stereotypical, in my day, I had to walk X amount of miles to school in the snow, and you kids don't know anything about sacrifice, right? Telephone. The story sounds way different than how it originally happened because so much time has passed, and you perceive to receive the experience to be a little bit different in your head, and you've been telling this lie so long that you believe it in this variation, but that's not what happened. And I would have to talk to somebody to tell me that that's not what happened. I say that because I forget which book I was listening to, or I was watching Tony Robbins. I was watching a Tony Robbins interview, and he was talking about how kind of the same thing. Like, yeah, they talk about this generation is soft and weak and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But if we go back in time, and that's how they spoke about the Americans and the American soldiers that went into World War II and fought Hitler. Like, a lot of them were looked at as pansies and soft, and that's where we're going to lose the war because these kids don't know how to do this, that, and the other, blah, 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 and they end up winning. And then, they come back and they're supposed to be war heroes. Like, we were on the verge of losing that war against Hitler, and some shit happened, and then we end up winning, and they end up giving up and succeeding and all that other stuff. But that came from a group of people that you said were weak and soft and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But there's something in them, the way that they were, that ended up leading to a victory in this situation, which is necessary because if that war goes the way it was headed at the first point, where Hitler was going to win, shit would look a lot different today. So these so-called weak-minded, don't know how to do this, don't know how to have that kids that end up going to war and winning that war, they changed it. They changed history in a positive way. And I don't think it's any different for the kids today. Are there aspects to them that we can look at that are less than favorable and we would like it to be different? Absolutely. But people can say the same thing about us. People can say the same thing about our parents. People can say the same thing about our grandparents. Each generation has had attributes to them that make them look less than in comparison to the people before them that are looking and analyzing their behaviors. But the people before them also weren't 100% truthful about their experiences and their abilities either. So there's a whole lot of miscommunication going on.
Whole lot of motherfucking cap going on. Whole lot of cap.
So, yes, do I think kids today are soft in certain areas? Yeah, and I think they're fantastic in other areas. Kids today may be super soft in one area, but say emotional intelligence, right? They may be super soft in knowing how to navigate certain social situations the way that we would have, but they're really strong in talking more about their emotions and having conversations around things being non-conventional. They're not waiting until they're 40 years old to tell their parents that I'm secretly gay or this, that, and like that. Nah, I'm scared to tell my parents, but I told my parents in the fucking 10th grade, which is not something that people in prior generations were doing. So yeah, I may be weak in this area or I may be lazy in this area, but they're advanced in certain other areas, so it balances out to a degree. It will shape our world how it shapes it. I would rebuttal that question or add to that question to people that listen to this and say, if they are that soft in certain areas, what are you doing to help them not be so soft aside from shaming them?
I mean, I agree with that. And I guess I would also kind of in the same vein the way you were headed is Because I'm not saying this is a nigga who's not critical of any and everybody, but view where you're critical of them from.
Right.
Like what is, like kind of what you're saying. What does softness look like? What does toughness and hardness look like? And why are you making those distinctions? Because like you said, like private, what the fuck, in World War, whatever, was these punk motherfuckers, and they never ever.
Homer Powell.
Yeah, but that person could never. I don't know. That person couldn't bring themselves to tell their child they loved them as they went off to war because they were fearful of the feelings, and so in many respects, that's weak. So I wouldn't say like I wouldn't even say try to compare one. I think I'm a big fan. I'm not gonna say fuck Boomer because there's a bunch of traits that I fucking love from my father, grandfather, like these stark, rough, antiquated Neanderthal men that I think are absolutely necessary at all times. And then I see some fucking, I still engage with youth like in my actual career. And I'll see a fucking 12-year-old be very like emotional and there's parts of me where you have to kind of like, you know, you work with that and be like, hey, you know, that's not a bad thing. Let's express this in a way that's not chaotic, but you being able to go, I don't like this, it makes me want to cry. Motherfucker, cry right now. Good job, nigga, because there's a motherfucker I know up the street. Or maybe your father or grandfather, and depending on the household you come from, that motherfucker ain't cried since 51. He cried right now, his fucking heart will explode. It's nigga not hunched over for no other reason except him trying to ball his emotions up before he just passes. So it's kind of as usual, the main fucking theme around this bitch. It is a balancing act. Balance.
Absolutely. Got one more, or are you calling it?
I'm calling it. You niggas can. I was gonna call it. I was gonna really try to like send us out here with some music, but then it was hating on me. There we go. Nope. You thought.
Break. It was a break.
It was.
A break.
But y'all listen, man. Y'all here. We giving y'all the length this fucking year. Fucking 2 hours 1 week. Just damn near 2 this week.
That's how you gonna tell them?
Yeah, give y'all the.
We beat y'all with this length.
Yeah. Y'all want to hear us talk about shit? You know, it's been be funny over here, be more in depth over here. So y'all getting every fucking every inch, all of
length, width, girth, stamina, whole nine. We standing up in that thing.
Yeah, if you listen to a part that's not for you, fast forward. I guarantee you find that motherfucker. You'll find your part.
Or since they all normally kind of transition relatively well, contrary to what you might think, it all ties in together. So maybe you should listen through that part because it'll make sense later on.
Boom. But also, thank you for listening. Thank you for making it this far. See y'all next time.
Thank you to everybody for your continued support. If it's your first time, welcome. Hopefully you appreciate the conversation. Send us questions on our Instagram. We'll be happy to read them off. We're not going to tell people who you are, but we'll still read your question and participate with us. If it's not your first time, thank you for continuing to come back and engage with us and keep us going strong. Thank y'all for helping to grow our platform on Instagram. If you don't already follow, subscribe, all of that. To all our international people that listen to us way out in some place that we ain't been able to travel to yet, we appreciate you. Share with some other people there that you're listening with. Maybe they can sponsor us a ticket to come out there and talk to y'all. Whatever the case is, but we thank y'all for y'all continued support. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll see y'all next episode.
Like, share, subscribe, and shit. That's right. Where you want me to touch you?